Technology has woven itself into every corner of our lives, promising to make things smoother and brighter. But has anyone stopped to consider that these tools don't just streamline our days, they can flip our worlds upside down? 3 years back, I packed up my life, along with my amazing wife and our little boy, and we moved to a nearby city. The move came with a big step up at work. I'd been grinding away as a regular coder, but now I was running the technical support department, leading a team of 25 folks. I had my own office, a solid paycheck. What more could I ask for? The best part was cutting back on work hours, which meant more time to hang out with my family. Speaking of family, I should mention I'd been married for over 6 years by then. My wife, Jennifer, and I go way back to our college days. We were just kids when we started dating, sneaking glances during study sessions. After graduation, we made it official with a wedding, and 10 months later, our son Jeff came along, lighting up our lives. Our family was like something out of a feel-good movie. I adored Jennifer, she adored me, and together we poured all our love into our son. At first, Jennifer stayed home with Jeff during her maternity leave. Later, we agreed she could chase whatever made her happy, since my salary was more than enough to keep us comfortable. But after we settled into the new city, something weird crept into our relationship. Sure, I had more time for family, but somehow we started bickering over the smallest things. Misunderstandings piled up, and we kept clashing for no good reason. Back when I'd come home from work, I'd tell Jennifer about my day, and she'd listen, sometimes tossing in advice or a kind word to lift me up. Now, though, every chat seemed to spiral into an argument. I started feeling her jealousy flare up whenever I mentioned my female coworkers, even though I gave her no cause to worry. In my spare moments, I'd call her to check in, and I made it clear all my colleagues were happily married. Still, things kept getting worse. A year dragged on like that, full of tension. Then Jennifer decided to dive into something new. She started her own business offering cosmetology services. We bought a cozy cottage, began shopping for a new car, and life started to feel like it was clicking back into place. Our son was thriving in school, and that old spark between Jennifer and me flickered back to life. It seemed like we'd weathered the storm. But then, out of nowhere, on one perfectly ordinary day, everything changed with a single phone call from my boss. My boss sent me on a week-long business trip to a nearby branch, along with a couple of my team members, to handle some setup work. Our mission was straightforward: get to the site, install a new server, make sure it was running smoothly, and head back home. When we arrived, the local team welcomed us with open arms, even inviting us to a little celebration to unwind from the trip. I appreciated the gesture, but we politely passed and dove straight into the job. The guys I brought along were sharp as tacks, tackling all the technical challenges with speed and precision, no fuss or chatter needed. While my team handled the heavy lifting, I had a chance to sit down with the branch's management. We hit it off, swapping stories and finding shared interests. Somewhere in the conversation, the topic shifted to country homes, and I couldn't help but brag a bit about our recent purchase. I mean, it's a beautiful cottage in a new community, perfectly located. How could I not show off? I even mentioned that our place was visible online thanks to a security camera at the community's guarded entrance, which conveniently captured our house and its view. Eager to share, I grabbed my laptop, pulled up the camera feed, and waited as the image loaded. But when the picture finally came into focus, I felt my heart stop. There, parked in our yard, was my car. Now, any guy would know their own car in a heartbeat, and I was no exception. I'd recognize that vehicle anywhere. Jennifer hadn't mentioned a word about heading to the cottage, and who even goes there in the middle of a work week? My stomach churned as I fumbled for my phone and dialed her number. It rang and rang, but no answer. I tried again. Still nothing. On the 5th attempt, she finally picked up. "Hey, sweetheart, what's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "I'm swamped at work," she said quickly. "Can't talk now. I'll call you back when I'm free. Bye." And just like that, she hung up. Her words left me with more questions than answers. She said she was at work, but I could see our car at the cottage with my own eyes. My mind raced. Maybe she was meeting clients there? The cottage had plenty of space, and it'd save us from renting an office. But it was a 40-mile drive from the city, hardly convenient. I couldn't just ditch the business trip. There was still a ton of work to do. Yet something gnawed at me, a nagging feeling I couldn't shake. I started calling anyone who might know something. First up was my mother-in-law. "Hey, how's everything going?" I asked, forcing a calm tone. "Oh, hi, Edward. I'm doing great," she replied cheerfully. "But tell me, how's the cottage coming along? Jennifer and Jeff are there for the week. She mentioned you're doing some renovations and even took time off for it." Her words hit me like a punch. Pieces started falling into place, but they didn't bring any comfort. Without telling me, Jennifer had taken our son to her mom's place in another city, then gone to the cottage alone, claiming she was tied up at work and too busy to talk. I sat there, trying to process it all, dialing her number again and again. But now, she wasn't picking up at all. By evening, I couldn't hide the turmoil anymore. My face must have been an open book. After we wrapped up the day's work, the branch manager, ever the gracious host, suggested we kick back and relax. This time, his offer hung in the air, tempting me to distract myself from the storm brewing inside. I didn't want to seem rude, so I didn't turn down the branch manager's offer to unwind this time. We ended up having quite a few drinks, and over the course of the evening, I spilled my whole story to Chester, my new drinking buddy. "Edward, you're a decent guy, but you're making this way too complicated," Chester said with a heavy sigh, leaning back in his chair. He asked how long my team and I were staying. I told him we were scheduled for a 2-week trip, but my crew was sharp, real pros who'd probably wrap things up in half that time. "All right then," he went on, a grin spreading across his face. "Tomorrow, let your guys handle the work. We'll get a driver, grab some beers, and take a little road trip to your cottage to check out those renovations." It sounded like a plan, so we shook on it. The next morning, true to his word, Chester showed up with everything we needed: snacks, drinks, the works, and we hit the road. Just to ease my mind, I kept my laptop open, checking the security camera feed every 15 minutes. Sure enough, Jennifer's car was still parked in the cottage yard, clear as day. The drive took nearly 7 hours, winding through back roads and small towns, but we finally pulled up to the community gate. And there it was, my car, right where the camera showed it. My heart was pounding as I dialed Jennifer's number again. "Hey, Jen, how's it going? You didn't call me back yesterday," I said, fighting to keep my voice steady. "Edward, you're a riot," she replied, her tone clipped. "You're off on your business trip, and I'm juggling work, picking up Jeff, and handling stuff at home. I'm exhausted, swamped with clients, and you're bugging me. Can we talk later?" That was it, my patience shattered. I stormed into the cottage, and what I saw stopped me cold. There was Jennifer, wrapped in a robe, a glass of wine in her hand, cozying up to some guy I'd never seen before. 3 days of stress, mixed with the alcohol still in my system, pushed me over the edge. I lost it completely. Both Jennifer and her friend caught the brunt of my anger. If it hadn't been for Chester, who was right there to snap me out of it by dumping a vase of cold water over my head, things could have gone even worse. The aftermath wasn't pretty: a broken nose, some bruises, and a scene I'd rather forget. After that, I didn't say another word to Jennifer. As soon as I got back from the trip, I filed for divorce and made sure Jeff came with me. Right now, I'm still navigating the divorce process, trying to piece my life back together. Chester, bless him, keeps joking about setting me up with his sister, but I'm nowhere near ready for that. I'm just taking it one day at a time, seeing where life leads. If this story hit home for you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to my channel. It means a lot to me.